Bruce Bochy right now, brought to you by Louisiana Hot Sauce. Good afternoon, sir.
What's on there?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm sitting here in Laguna Niguel at the Ritz-Carlton looking at the ocean, so life's good here right now.
Is that because of all the wins? Had there been a series lost, do you think they would have booted you to a different hotel?
Good question, but we stayed here last time, so I think we recovered. I know the players love it here. It's a little bit of a drive to the ballpark, but it's just so relaxing here.
Boch, when it becomes vacation time, are you more of a mountain guy? You want to go to the mountains, or you want to go to the beach?
I'm more a water guy, and not so much go to the beach as much as I just enjoy fishing, looking at water. But I'm much more, I think, a water guy. Although I had to take a trip every year to Jackson Hole. I have some friends up there that we do an annual trip. There's a few managers involved. Dave Roberts, Phil Nevin, Buddy Black, myself. I just think it's beautiful too. But I'm more of a warm weather guy. I've always lived in warm weather: Florida, Panama, Southern California. So that's my preference.
You still hope vacation is at least 5.5 weeks away this year, right?
Right. No doubt about that.
Have you, I know I asked you this a couple weeks ago, but I'm curious because we dive into it a lot. Have you looked at all the tiebreaker scenarios and everything? Or are you like, hey, let's just win 4 more games and take this division, and then you don't have to worry about that junk?
Yeah, I'm not looking at that. To be honest, it's all about going out there winning games. I don't want to get caught into that, and don't want the players to either. They're doing a great job of just going out there, keeping that concentration and focus on winning the game, and it'll take care of itself with the position we're in. We don't need to look for help or anything. We just need to play our game, and they're doing a great job of that.
I know, Boch, there might not be a perfect answer to this, but it just seems like lately your offense has become a lot more aggressive, selective with their swinging at strikes again. And all of a sudden the offense is a major weapon, 10 home runs in the last 2 nights. When do you get a sense or a feel of when it might be getting a little bit out of hand with chasing too many of the pitcher's pitches versus, hey, we're starting to swing at our pitch again and we're about to run up some runs?
Yeah, you know what? It goes from series to series, and you guys have seen that. And I'll just give you an example. I mean, we go up to Toronto and just threw out great at-bats off a really good rotation, lefties, righties, and then we went to Cleveland, and, man, we just had a hard time getting back to what we do well, and we got swept there. So, these things are streaky. You get it. But, to your point, I look at just the way they take pitches, how they're seeing the ball, are they rushing up there, or are they staying quiet and under control, staying balanced? That's how I look at hitters, and of course we've been swinging bats well lately, and these guys are being nice and quiet up there and not expanding.
I know that Josh Jung over the last couple games has kind of had his struggles up at the plate, but, when he came back, it looked like he, didn't miss a beat. It's kind of wild how some of your guys have done that throughout the season. But I was kind of curious on how important he is, how much he affects other batters in y'all's lineup, or am I overthinking that? No,
I don't think you're overthinking it. I think, one, is the energy that he brings. He's the guy that's first guy out of the dugout when somebody does something well. He's in the dugout pulling for everybody. So I'll start with that. But also what he does with the bat, and he's in the cleanup spot right now. I may switch he and Dolly back, but he's just so dangerous up there. Yeah, he's gotten out of sync a little bit. His timing has gotten off. You're right, the last couple games, but we'll get him back on track.
Usually it feels like teams get worn down as the season goes on and injuries can get the best of them. But it feels like y'all have already experienced a ton of injuries, and maybe the lineup is coming back together just right at the best possible time.
Well, we certainly hope so, and that's the way it's been. With that Seattle series, and last night, I mean, we were having a hard time with Sandoval last night, the left-hander. He ended up, I guess, he hurt his oblique and had to come out of the game, and facing another tough left-hander that no-hit us into the eighth inning last time we saw him, this Detmer. So we get our hands full again tonight. So, but it's. It's all about, these guys just playing with so much confidence right now, and that's how we're going to have to carry it from this point on. And after here, we're going to have a tough series in Seattle, and sure they'll be trying to get back at us. But I just like where we're at right now and the energy that's going out there every day.
The other time Bradford started for you recently, obviously he's not stretched out, had 3 really good innings, ran into some trouble to start the 4th inning. Today you're probably going to have to use quite a few guys out of the bullpen once Bradford runs out of gas. How much do you manage today's game going, hey, if I have to use 7 guys or 8 guys to win this thing, I'm going for it, knowing that you could be limited the next night in L.A.?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. We're trying to get this bullpen reset. We have been going through it quite a bit. John Gray's effort certainly helped. We just used 3 guys. Johnny Hernandez, who's really come on. He's throwing the ball well. He'll be down tonight, and Haney may be able to go short, but we'd like to stay away from him. So I think we're doing much better in the bullpen right now, but I think if we got a chance to win the game, you'll see our guys out there. That's every win's going to be so important right now, and then you worry about tomorrow. But at the same time, to your point, you don't want to just kill your bullpen to where it's going to affect you the next 4 games, 4 or 5. So, but I think we're fine now. I think guys have had some rest. The guys that need a day off, we had quite a few. Stratton, Leclerc, Chappie, Martinez. We had some guys that were down yesterday. So John Gray came through for us.
Bochy, I've been kicking this question around with Mike and Kevin, just trying to figure out how to phrase this right. And sometimes when you get a new manager or a new boss or something, it's like you're kind of trying to seek their approval for the job you've been doing for a while. And I was kind of wondering with this team, does it have your approval or does it have your, I guess, respect? And at what point in the season did they earn that approval or respect from you?
Oh, this club, in spring training, I just said, man, this is a good club. Just with a great attitude, with there's quality people on this team, and then of course as the season went, and then. We talked about it so many times how we had to bounce back, and we did it. These guys have been resilient all year, and we had a really tough skid there, and we came out of that. So they're fighting. That's what you want from a club that doesn't stop fighting, and these guys don't do that. So I've been in love with these guys since I saw them in spring training.
I know this is probably a difficult question when it comes to Max Scherzer's health, but I've been being asked, hey, can Max Scherzer pitch if the Rangers make the playoffs? So let's just ask the manager, Bruce Bochy. Can Max Scherzer pitch if the Rangers make the playoffs?
Yeah, I just talked to Max yesterday. I don't think you rule that out. Max isn't. He's throwing the ball, he's letting it go pretty good. Now, when you pitch, it's that last 5 or 10% that you're going to let go of the ball. That's what you have to have so you can finish up your pitches. And but he seems pretty optimistic, and he knows his body better than anybody. But we're getting good news on him, how he's coming along. So I would not rule that out.
At the same point, I've always been curious about when you say the player knows their body best, but when you have a competitor, do you also have to try to kind of hold them back from being their own worst enemy,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with some guys you do. They're going to want to go out there or tell you they're fine. Max, he's not going to do that. And it's not that he doesn't want to do it. He's just being really smart about it, and he knows his body. And And when this first came up, if you remember, he was throwing the ball great. He said, I feel something there, so he stopped. Where another guy's going to try to push through it, and then, you know, it might have compounded the damage and been out for 3 or 4 months. So every individual's different. You just have to take the ball from them or give them their day off. So that's what you have to learn as a manager. And the best way to go about it really is have the coaches check with them. They're not going to probably tell me I need a day or this or that, but you know, somebody has a coach-player relationship or even trainer. That's where I get my best information from.
So, Boch, I know these are two very different hitters, but Barry Bonds would choke up on the bat, and you had him, and that was for, you know, great bat control. And you have Evan Carter, new guy on the team, but his bat has a really big kind of knob to it, almost like a counterbalance. Can you talk about Evan Carter's bat and what that helps you do as a hitter?
I just think he gives a good feel, good balance for him. The weight distribution I'm talking about. Some bats can be top heavy, and some you just don't feel like you get a good feel on it. You know, like you're swinging a golf club, you have some lag, and where you feel like it's coming through at the very end, and so that's what I think works for him. You know, some guys are a little different. Some guys like to hold their bottom finger off the bottom of the knob there. They felt like they had more power and more whip, and you know, Bonds was a choke-up guy. I was never comfortable with choking up. I tried it, and I had to feel that knob on the bottom of my hand. I felt like that is what really helped create torque. Now, I was a bad hitter. I just wasn't smart enough to figure out how to do it like Bonds. So, you know, but Barry was amazing, and he just had it figured out. Get on the plate, choke up, and just spin on the ball. And just incredible what the guy could do.
Now, I know you're talking about hand placement on the bat. I was also curious, were there ever any batting stances that you were like, I don't understand how that works, like Julio Franco, Mickey Tettleton, that you're like, I don't see how that works for you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I go, wow, seems like a long ways to go to get the bat to the ball on some of these stances, but some guys are just that strong that, you know, they can do it. And, you know, you're talking about Franco. Sheffield had all that, you know, wiggle. I mean, his bat would almost point toward the pitcher. Just there's a long ways to go, but their hands are so strong that they can get away with it. You look at John Kruk, these guys that hold their way up, or Yastrzemski. It just seems, why have all that movement? But this is who they are. It's what they're used to, and they're able to do it. But I wasn't that good to ever try something like that.
I know this. I don't want to get too far ahead of us here, Boch.
You better not ask about the playoffs, Corey. We're in the regular season right now.
Okay, all right. Okay, then in your history of managing, have you ever had one of those moments where, because this is kind of running up, you win and get in the playoffs, like that is a moment for celebration, right? Like the guys like to celebrate in the clubhouse, but how do you kind of manage that also of, hey, but also we want to win the division? Like that's something else that's also on there. So in your history, have you had something like that where you had to say, guys, we're not celebrating tonight because we got one more goal?
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of teams, go through that. You've seen teams this year, let's say you're looking at Tampa and Baltimore. Your goal is to win the division. Now, if you don't have a chance to win your division, then that's a little bit different. Now, when if you get a wild card, now that's when you're celebrating. So I can tell you this. That's our goal right now, is to try to win this division.
In Leclerc's, I want to talk about Leclerc for a second, if we may. In his last 6 appearances, the numbers have looked really good. 6 1/3, 5 hits, 9 strikeouts, 2 saves, 3 holds. But I know numbers don't always tell the story. Looking at his stuff, how have you felt about this last little run by Leclerc?
Wow, it's been impressive, hasn't it?
Yes.
We saw him earlier in the year. I mean, it was a struggle for him. And not only that, the the stuff wasn't there, but the command was off, and he was a little bit of a mess. And I've talked about this. I'm sorry about my voice. I've caught some crud here.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, but anyway, he had that neck issue going on in spring training. I talked about it. That's why we didn't let him pitch for the Dominican team in the WBC. And I think it was affecting him more than he was letting on. And I think that's cleared up. And now we're seeing the guy that you've seen in the past, a guy that I've heard about that's, bumping 97, 98.
That's a lot more fun, too, for
Oh,
sure.
Oh, my gosh. No kidding.
And before we let you go, Boch, I know G-Bag is going to have John Gray on later this afternoon. They're going to have a little conversation with him. I was kind of curious what you know about his injury, how he's feeling. What are your thoughts on him right there?
Yeah, we were going to take a look at it today. I have not gotten any word from Lucky, our trainer, but we think he's going to be fine. It was just a case where we were being cautious with them, and like I said, the pen we were fine there. Had Johnny and Heaney, but what a great job he did, and he just had great focus. He didn't get distracted. Gives up a leadoff double, start the game. He regrouped and got 3 big outs, and then the home run the second inning. Those things seemed like they were helping cause him to unravel, but he kept his focus really, really good last night.
Well, we hope to keep you away from the water and the beach as long as possible, and hopefully when we talk this time next week, it's about a whole new ball game.
Right. No, there's a few great whites out there. I know that for a fact because I lived here for 30-something years not too long ago, and so you trust me, I'm not going to be out in that water.
Thank you very much.
Lake guy, Kevin.
Always appreciate the time, good sir. We'll catch up with you next week.
All right, guys. Good talking with you. We'll talk to you.